Ladies and gentlemen, oh, I forgot to put on the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot to turn on my microphone. Yeah, but let's get it started. Let's get it started right now. Today, the topic is extremely interesting because your parent can be like that, your grandparents can be like that. I have some grandparents like that, and I met some men like that. So, we're talking about aging narcissists. So, how narcissists age? So, today, as you know, as I said before, we will talk about narcissistic aging. Old age is perhaps one of the strongest, most panicky, terrifying fears of any narcissist, along with the fear of loneliness, the fear of being abandoned or rejected. No one in the world with a healthy psyche is afraid of aging as much as a narcissist. For a narcissist, aging means, first of all, the loss of external attractiveness, the loss of the ability to hold on to power. Is linked to attractiveness, actually. So somatic narcissists, for example, they care more about appearance and health, while cerebral narcissists, they worry more about the loss of intellectual abilities, which, of course, is gonna be weaker and weaker with time and age. And regardless of what kind of narcissist it is, perverse, covert, cerebral, somatic, whatever it is, all the traits with age are exacerbated. So, the first thing will concern the appearance of the narcissist. The first fear. Narcissists cannot accept the age-related changes that occur with their body. The narcissist will try in every possible way to look young, to act young, to dress youthfully, and to take maximum care of their health and appearance. Sometimes only appearance, not health, because they hate themselves, as you remember. When it comes to social media, narcissists usually hide their own age. They use filters, etc., etc., and this is also actually indicator of NPD, Narcissistic Personality Disorder. They really deny their own age. Why does it happen? Because they do not want to accept their own age. They reject it in every possible way, and it seems that the narcissist is this somehow separately, and the age is not about him at all. Some 50 years old man can say that he feels like he's 23 and he's 23. They devote a huge amount of time, money, effort to keep being perfect. Buttocks, tighter drinks, yoga, etc. But not all of them, sure thing. Narcissistic people, Asian narcissistic people, they dress in a certain way. Sometimes they look funny, sometimes they look childish, some trendy clothes that doesn't really fit their appearance, their current appearance and their age. An Asian woman at age of 60 can put on a mini skirt and still consider herself a beauty, sexy. And male narcissists can dress quite brightly, grotesquely, like a rock star, like a child, and very ridiculous. That's very ridiculous. So denial of old age is that looking at themselves in the mirror, despite the real image, they still see Apollo of Venus de Milo, and they don't see the fact that their body is undergoing certain changes. More precisely, they don't want to see these changes. They distance themselves from it in every possible way and just reject it. What drives them crazy the most is that they're no longer attractive to the opposite sex, obviously. And funny thing is that it often happens that they look for a partner much younger than themselves in order to somehow be at least there in the aura of youth. They often have children at the age of 45, 50, 60, 70. When you're about to have grandchildren, actually, they have children. Of course, they don't want to have any responsibility for these children, as this is something that only necessary for self-affirmation and sure to support their aging consciousness, the children. They can enter into marriages in old age, like quite easily. But at the same time, of course, it will always very difficult for them to maintain in a relationship. Narcissistic men, they experience a decrease in potency in old age, obviously, and that's fine. But it's you who will be to blame for this. You're not sexy enough, you're not attractive enough, You don't know the special techniques, you're not skinny enough, you cannot excite him enough, etc., etc. So he shifts the blame of his masculine failure onto you. By the way, they really like to emphasize your age. You are too old, or you have some signs of aging. That's what they say. Even if you are 25 or 30 and he's 50, he will find some signs of aging in you. For example, some wrinkle or very noticeable cellulite, but he will certainly emphasize it in at every opportunity. So that you feel bad about yourself. Be sure that firstly, there's a projection, and secondly, again, there's a self-affirmation. Now, using you, let me explain. He emphasizes that you are old, so he can feel young. Sometimes it looks quite absurd. It looks quite absurd, mostly, especially if the age difference is huge. 20, 25, 30 years of difference, and he still says that you're old, that you're unattractive, that you're not skinny enough, etc. That's what they're trying to do. The second distinctive thing in narcissists, they are becoming incredibly demanding. First of all, concerning service. For a narcissist, it's never enough. It could be better when they were young, but now this will never be the case. It's not good and better. They love to use their children, being real parasites, completely depleting their resources, both material and physical, arguing that, well, I fed you, I raised you, I educated you, and now you owe me for the rest of your life. In fact, this is probably why narcissists have children, decide to have children. And as you might already understand, this is not in order to raise strong, happy, self-sufficient, talented person, but in order to use them. And narcissists in old age are very capricious. If everything already was wrong and it was impossible to please them throughout their entire life, imagine how unbearable they become in old age. It is impossible to please them in any way. It will always be wrong. Not that way, not enough, not on time, not in that way, and so on and so forth. So the third thing, they are completely stop feeling other people's pain. They never felt it anyway. There was no empathy, no ability to sympathize, nothing. And in old age, that part of brain, to be precise, the limbic system, which is responsible for empathy, loses even more of its density. And the narcissist can hurt you as much as possible and do it without any effort and any regrets. In old age, this becomes just his habit. This is normal behavior for him, and he does it out of intuition, out of the feeling, because this is how it had been all his life. So they become indifferent to absolutely everything. They even no longer hide their temper and consider themselves absolutely entitled to behave in this way. They can no longer maintain the mask of charm or attractiveness or perfection they used to hold when they were young. Now they show their true face, their true essence, angry and unsatisfied. The first thing, it's rage and aggression, which they generally cease to control. This is also explained by the physiological characteristics of the brain, because the prefrontal cortex, we were talking about limbic system, now we're talking about prefrontal cortex of the brain. It's responsible for controlling primary impulses. So in old age, this prefrontal cortex is less and less able to function normally, especially in narcissists and psychopaths, by the way. And now these outbursts of rage, aggression, and anger are quite difficult to control for them. With age, narcissists become more and more prone to violence. If, for example, a narcissist abused his first wife only psychologically and, let's say, emotionally, he will abuse his second wife in addition to psychological violence, also, let's say, financially and economically. And when it comes to his third wife, he may also use physical violence. In addition, as a bonus now, fifth, accusations, criticism, devaluations, insults, they become simply unbearable. So they are literally destroying your mental health if you are with such a person. That is, if earlier there were some cycles, a period of idealization, devaluation, rejection, and hovering, so it's cycle of relationships you're gonna always have with narcissists. In old age, they don't really have this idealization period. It will be as short as possible and really completely unnoticeable. There will be a lot of criticism of everything that surrounds them, the politics, the states, the wife, the husband, children, relatives. They're gonna be the people and the things to blame. But it's never their fault. Never. So, number 6, they're becoming super suspicious. It seems to them all the time that you're trying to steal something from them. Take away their money, take away his apartment or her apartment, take away food and everything that can be taken from him or from her. So you came to take it from him. They will suspect you of cheating, that you are unfaithful, that you are taking his money, even if he doesn't have any, that you're doing something illegal with his documents, that you have some shady plans, and that you cannot be trusted at all. And naturally, he will not trust you, obviously. Why is that? Because again, he looks at the world through the prism of his inner self, because he himself has tried all his life to use other people's resources, being dishonest and manipulative. And sure, we don't have to forget about projection. 7. Narcissists are very vengeful in their old age. Throughout their lives, they have accumulated this anger, and now they will take a revenge. So how can this be expressed? For example, they can change the entire testament. And now, the inheritance is not for his children or husband or wife, but now it's for some random person, friend, or even young mistress or lover. And the goal of the narcissist here might be just to leave you with nothing at all, to make you suffer. He can sell the business that you built together your whole life, or sue you for house and money that you acquired together. In general, the narcissist does as much nasty thing as possible in order to take maximum revenge on you in the old age and maximum control, because they like to control. 8. Narcissists are incredibly stingy in old age. They are by no means those grandparents who you want to visit with warmth and comfort and peace. No. As a narcissistic grandparents, they will never give you anything. Neither in terms of material resources, nor in terms of some emotional warmth, support, kindness. Nothing. They are stingy in every way. Throughout their lives, they were stingy already. And if they have ever given you anything, well, guess what? It's only to take 10 times more from you later on, but they will. In their old age, they become completely disappointed in you. They believe that you're not worthy of even a penny, nothing. Another thing, the lack of logic in their actions and memory lapses. They are really pathological. They cannot remember what they said, what they did, what their actions led to. If you talk to them, it will always be some nonsense. But it is absolutely impossible to find a logical chain. There is no logic at all. There is complete chaos in their heads, chaos mixed with aggression. Illogicality, uncertainty become so acute that you just look at them and think, oh my god, what's going on in your head? And it's not schizophrenia. So, truth for them is where lies. It never happened. They will literally load you with their ideas about life, ridiculous advices, complaints, and their negativity and lies. They will tell you something that never happened. And they will take such a confident look, as if they're telling the ultimate truth. So in the old age, it goes to the maximum. And what you have to understand, that all of the relationships in narcissistic, for narcissist, age narcissists, are forced, it's because the people that surround the narcissist, they are forced to tolerate the person. Some relatives who doomed to live with the narcissist under the same roof, or colleagues or neighbors, that is, those people who simply have nowhere to go. Old age is supposed to be autumn of life. So for a normal, healthy, prosperous person who has lived a self-sufficient, happy life, this autumn will be soft, comfortable, warm, and cozy. The autumn that you want to enjoy. But the autumn for a narcissist will be disgusting and cold, when you want to escape to another planet and wait for it to pass as soon as possible. Growing old with narcissists is this is perhaps one of the worst scenarios that can happen in your life, because instead of enjoying your life, every day will be poisoned with negativity, abuse, and nagging. And my little advice to those who are living with those narcissists: just live, just let go, just stay away from such people. The sooner the better. This is if this is your relative and you are kind of an empath, you feel like you're responsible, and neither your conscience and neither your morality nor your ethics allow you to erase this person from your life. In such a complicated situation, it would be great if you hire someone, hire a nurse, and in no way emotionally or morally get involved in his or her life. Participate financially, maybe, but at the same time, take care of your mental health. Choose yourself and make your life warm, comfortable, soft, beautiful. It is entirely within your power and your hands. So take a good care of yourselves and don't fall for narcissists, or otherwise you're gonna suffer your entire life. And if someone from your family is narcissist, I told you what to do, because we cannot just throw them away. They didn't choose to be narcissists, as I may say. But you can always change your behavior. Maybe they just don't know it. So may God bless your souls, and see you in the next video.